Most cat owners think they know why their cat hovers around the baby. Curiosity, jealousy, the smell of milk. Maybe she just wants the warm spot near the crib. But researchers who study feline behavior have found something that changes all of that. Your cat isn't reacting to the baby the way you think she is. She's responding to 5 specific signals, and almost every owner reads them wrong. When you misread these signals, you do one of 2 things. You either push the cat away from the baby at exactly the wrong moment, or you miss what your cat is telling you about your baby's emotional state in real time. Today on Feline Decoded, I'm going to walk you through the 5 behaviors that actually mean your cat is protecting your baby, what's driving each one, what the science says, and what to look for in your own home. And don't skip number 4. It involves a frequency your cat hears and you don't, and once you understand it, it changes everything. Welcome to Feline Decoded, where we translate what your cat is actually doing into something you can finally understand. If that sounds like something you need in your life, consider subscribing. We post every week. Number 1. She faces the door, not the baby. Here's what most people think when they see this. They assume the cat is bored or distracted or just happened to sit there. Some parents actually move her. "Stop blocking the door, let me through!" But this is one of the most misread behaviors in feline infant dynamics. Cats are territorial in a way that's often misunderstood. A cat's territory isn't just space she owns, it's space she monitors and defends. When a vulnerable member joins her territory, a new kitten, a sick companion, or a human infant, cats will instinctively position themselves at the entry point. Not facing the vulnerable one, facing outward, watching what comes in. Think of it like a security guard who faces the door of the room, not the people inside it. Research on feline territorial behavior confirms cats will adjust their monitoring positions in response to new, high-need household members, often without any cue from the humans around them. Here's what to notice. Is your cat sitting near the nursery entrance facing out, especially when the baby is sleeping? That's not random. That's a deliberate positional choice her nervous system made without being asked. Quick question. Does your cat do this during nap time specifically, but not when the baby is awake and making noise? Tell me in the comments. That pattern means something. Number 2. She follows you when you carry the baby, but not when you walk normally. Most people assume this is clinginess, or they think the cat is jealous and trying to insert herself into the moment. It's not jealousy, it's tracking. Cats are finely tuned to vulnerability. In a feral colony, a mother cat tracks her kittens not constantly, but specifically, when they're being moved, when they're exposed, when the risk window is open. That tracking behavior is neurologically different from general following. It activates when something helpless is in transit. When you carry your baby from room to room, you have created exactly that scenario. A small, non-mobile, dependent creature is being moved through open space. Your cat's brain registers this the same way it registers a kitten being relocated. And it follows. This isn't affection in the way we usually mean it. It's a specific protective response tied to movement of a vulnerable subject. What to notice? Does she follow you room to room when you're carrying the baby, but stay put when you walk without the baby? Track this for a few days. It's one of the clearest behavioral markers researchers point to when distinguishing protective behavior from general attachment. Number 3. She kneads near the baby, on the baby's blanket, but not on the baby. This one confuses a lot of parents. They think the cat is trying to climb on the baby, or she's just found a soft surface. But there's something else happening, and it has to do with your cat's paws. Cats have scent glands in their paw pads. Every time they knead a surface, they deposit their own scent. This isn't random comfort behavior, it's marking. And in feline social structure, marking a member of your group is one of the clearest signals of inclusion. It means, this is mine, this belongs with me, this is under my protection. When your cat kneads the baby's blanket, or the area right next to where the baby sleeps, she is scent marking the baby's space. She is, in the language of feline social biology, filing the baby under family. Think of it like signing a document. She can't say, "This baby is part of my group," so she writes it the only way she knows how, One slow, deliberate press of a paw at a time. By this point, you've seen three things. Your cat positioning herself as a guardian at the entry point, tracking your baby when she's most exposed, and formally marking the baby as part of her social group. Each one is separate. All three are happening at the same time, and we haven't even gotten to the most surprising one yet. Number 4. She comes closer when the baby cries, and she didn't learn this. She was born with it. Most people assume the cat is just reacting to noise, or that she's curious about what's making that sound. Here's what's actually happening, and it changes how you hear your cat forever. In 2009, researcher McComb at the University of Sussex published a study in Current Biology that revealed something nobody expected. She was studying a specific type of cat purr, the kind cats use when they want something. She ran an acoustic analysis and found something hidden inside it. A high-frequency cry embedded within the low rumble. Almost inaudible on its own, but measurably there. When she measured the frequency of that embedded cry, it landed between 300 and 600 hertz. A healthy human infant's cry sits at 300 to 600 hertz. Not similar, identical range. What McComb found was that cats had evolved to produce a sound that exploits the same neurological response humans have to a baby's cry, because it gets a faster, more urgent response from us. But it also means the reverse is true. Your cat's auditory system already has a dedicated category for that frequency. She has spent her entire life producing it, hearing it, and learning that it means something needs help right now. So when your baby cries, your cat doesn't just hear noise. She hears the one frequency her brain has been wired to respond to since birth. She moves toward it because she cannot not move toward it. Quick question. Have you noticed your cat responds faster to your baby crying than to other loud sounds in the house? Drop a yes or no below. That's the frequency response in real time. Number 5. She becomes more alert when the baby is sick, even before you notice anything is wrong. This is the one most people dismiss as coincidence or projection. It isn't. Cats have a chemosensory system dramatically more sensitive than ours. They detect biochemical changes in the environment, shifts in body temperature, changes in the compounds released through breath and skin that fall entirely below the threshold of human perception. A body fighting an infection smells different. It sounds different. The breathing pattern changes in ways we can't consciously register, but a cat can. Researchers and veterinary behaviorists have documented cats becoming unusually attentive or restless in the hours before a family member's medical event. Not because they're psychic, but because they're picking up real physical signals we simply don't have the equipment to detect. Think of your cat as a biological sensor that runs continuously in the background. She doesn't decide to monitor the baby, she just does. And when the readings change, her behavior changes. What to notice? If your cat is suddenly restless near the baby, won't settle, keeps returning to the crib, don't dismiss it. Check the baby's temperature. Check how they're breathing. Your cat may be responding to something that hasn't become visible to you yet. There's a story that puts all of this together. In January 2015, in Obninsk, Russia, a stray cat named Masha found a cardboard box in an apartment stairwell. Inside it was an abandoned newborn baby, left in freezing temperatures with nothing but some diapers and baby food. Masha had no owner, no training, no bond with the infant. She climbed into the box and pressed her body against the baby. She stayed there for hours, in sub-zero cold, keeping him warm with her own body heat. And then she did something that saved his life. She started meowing. Loudly, persistently, at exactly the pitch that made a passing resident stop and investigate. The baby was rushed to hospital. Doctors confirmed he had survived because his core temperature had been maintained, because of a stray cat who had never met him. Irina Lavrova, the resident who found them, said later, "Normally Masha would have come to say hello to me. When she didn't, I knew something was wrong. Imagine my shock when I saw her lying in a box next to a baby." Masha used every one of the 5 behaviors in this video, in a single night, for a baby who wasn't hers, in a building that wasn't a home, at a temperature that was already dangerous. She positioned herself between the baby and the cold. She tracked him with her body. She stayed. She called for help. And she didn't leave until help arrived. That is not coincidence. That is not instinct in the way we usually dismiss the word. That is a nervous system doing exactly what thousands of years of coevolution built it to do. If you have a cat at home and a baby, or a child, or someone who needs watching over, I want you to see these 5 behaviors differently now. She's not in the way. She's not jealous. She's not confused. She is doing 5 specific, scientifically documented things, each one a signal in a language she's been speaking since before you brought that baby home. You just needed someone to translate. If this gave you a new way to see your cat, that's what Feline Decoded is here for. Subscribe, and every week I'll give you one more thing about your cat that you didn't know you didn't know. Now tell me, which of these 5 behaviors have you seen in your own cat? Give me a number in the comments. And if you have a story about your cat and a baby that stopped you cold, I want to hear that too.